We have a quorum. We have 5 members present of the Community Preservation Committee. Let's get started. First agenda item is approve previous minutes and expenses. I think Lauren's prepared a voucher and has shared minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, in terms of the minutes, I know I didn't necessarily have any issues with it. So if no one else does, I'll make a motion to approve the January minutes as written.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Right, it's been approved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Mike, aye. Kathy?
Rick, aye.
Rick,
Oh,
aye. That's fine. And Brittany and Chris.
Brittany, aye.
I think Chris is muted. Chris, thumbs up if you're okay with it.
It's okay.
Okay. Chris is on. Okay, thank you. So then the next is a voucher that we have in front of us here. I think that there, Lauren, you can tell us there's one thing missing, and that's.
Can you see this?
Yeah, there's.
Yep.
This is part of the first cemetery project. They needed to rent some metal plates. So over that kind of road that leads to the cemetery, it's barely a road, so that it wouldn't collapse the culvert when they were at Stumpy's was taking their equipment in to do the tree work.
Yep.
So we have before us a TRC invoice for some of the pond work, and Stumpy's invoice for the tree work at the cemetery, and then the rental invoice for the plates, metal plates. So could I have a motion to accept a voucher with those 3 invoices?
I'll
Yeah,
move. Beat you, Rick.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, so Kathy and then Rick
I'll second it
seconded.
then.
Okay, so it's any discussion? If not, roll call vote. Mike, aye. Kathy,
Aye.
Rick, aye.
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
Chris, and Brittany.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Okay. So next on the agenda is account updates. I don't think Laura and I have any recent updates from the town council or town accountant, please. Next is funded project updates. We can go through these pretty quickly. Pratt Pond, we're committee is reviewing submittals from the contractor TRC, hoping to have something available for the town sometime later this spring. Robertson Trail Bridge, we'll talk about that in a minute. Howard Glen Boardwalk Rehab, no updates there. That probably won't be done until the spring after the snow melts someday. And then the town hall renovations, I didn't have a chance to talk to Dennis about where this was. I meant to, but I didn't have a chance. I don't know, Lauren, if you have any insight into how the town hall renovation project is going. If not,
I have a minor update. I noticed
Okay.
there was a little leak of water in by like the employee entrance, if you know where that
really?
is. But
Yes,
I don't know
yeah.
if that has anything to do with the town hall renovations, but I sure hope they fix that as part of it.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Yeah, I guess I know part of the project that was presented to us was there were leaks. There was water getting into the town, into the building envelope.
Yeah, and I thought that was on the other side of the building
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
was actually having the problem. So
Yeah.
Oh boy.
yeah. They might have an ice dam problem somewhere.
Yeah.
All righty. So the next item is our administrative budget for the next fiscal year. Warrant articles are due Friday at noon, this Friday at noon, and one of the standard warrant articles for the annual town meeting is our administrative budget. And Mike Antonellis recommended we hold steady at $25,000. That will cover Lauren's salary and leave us, I think, something like $8,000 or $9,000, kind of free to use if we need it for other purposes. So any thoughts on that?
No, I'm good with holding steady.
Okay. All right. So is there a motion to submit an article for the administrative CPC administrative budget for the May annual town meeting?
So Mike, I guess maybe, hold on, maybe as a point of order type thing is, so certainly we have that 25. Do we know what did we get the information in terms of the other splits of the monies going into the other accounts?
No, I don't think we have that yet, but I guess that'll also be, there'll be articles for that. Probably like the standard articles, which I haven't, we don't have those, but the 10% distributions, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
So those have to be part of the warrant or part of the meeting warrant. Then the other one that's typically in the annual town meeting is the bond for the town hall.
Yeah.
So I think if it's all right, what I'll just do is ask Lauren to check with Mike and make sure that those are submitted. For the
Yeah, okay.
the 10% warrant article, and then also the renovation article. I don't know if there'd be a second renovation article on or not. I guess we need to find that out for the second bond. If that's what to ask Mike, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because obviously we did that for that first one, we did that in the fall one, right? So
Yeah, we voted.
assuming that we'll start getting that in the standard AGM, I guess that kind of makes sense. Comes up fast, but probably makes sense that that's number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send an email to Mike asking about those 3 different potential, 2 certain and 1 potential article. So.
Okay, but and I guess going back to the budget as a whole, probably the 25 is, I'm assuming, is the only thing we really vote on, right? Outside of kind of other CPC new business activities, right? But in terms of our budget line going in for kind of account replenishments, that 25K is really the only other one that we would vote on for a number, because everything else just gets its percentage updates
Correct.
split accordingly, right? So
yeah, that's
okay.
correct. Yeah.
And so I guess with that being stated, I'll make a motion that we approve the 25K standing kind of operational cost for CPC.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, second by Kathy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Mike, aye. Catherine?
Kathy, aye.
Rick,
aye. Yeah.
Chris? And Brittany?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item, this one's going to take, please ask questions as I try to explain this. This is about the Robertson Trail Bridge. A little background, a few years ago, town meeting voted $120,000 for this bridge. We spent about $15,000 on the design so far. and the design is complete, and the design package was put out to bid last summer. And the bids, all the bids, 3 bids were received, and the lowest was $155,000. So, and I think the highest was around 250, something like that. So anyway, no award was made because we didn't have enough funds available. There's currently about $105,000 left from the CPC funding. Conservation Commission voted to kick in $7,500. And then there's a potential for some private fundraising, if we get to that point. So I asked the interim town manager, Dennis Westgate, what he thought we should do here. And I posed 3 alternatives. One is just to basically abandon the project. 2 is to redesign the bridge so that it's a less expensive bridge, and that would and a bridge that potentially could be built partly by volunteers, and that bridge would be most likely built mostly of wood. The downside there would be it wouldn't be as long lived as the proposed bridge, which I'll describe in a second. And also, it probably wouldn't be as resilient to a high flood event or a high flow event. I think probably, that bridge might last, 40 years before everything would need to be replaced except the footings. That's just a rough estimate. Then the third alternative was to seek more funding for the design that we already have. And that design, just to refresh folks' memory, is basically there's two abutments, concrete abutments, and then that span would be about 42 foot long between the abutments, and it would and the support would be an iron beam, basically an iron beam, and there would be some decking, wooden decking, probably black locust decking, and that design we feel would be well, first the beam would last, indefinitely, probably, and the abutments should last indefinitely, and we feel the beam probably could survive being overtopped by an extreme flood event. We think the elevation of the bridge as it's designed now, would probably be overtopped at something around a 200-year event, and that expected to occur like less than 1% of the time. Of course, you could have a 200-year event in March, and there's some data that shows that the old 100-year event, based on old data, is now maybe more like a 60-year event because of climate change and more extreme weather events. But anyway, so I kind of laid this out to Dennis, and I asked Dennis, what should we do? What would you recommend? He recommended asking for more money from CPC, and if CPC didn't approve that, or if town meeting didn't approve that, then asking for more money through a warrant article, basically from other town funds, free cash, I guess it's called. So that's where we are. And I wanted to ask you guys what you're thinking about this. We could propose an article. Just the other thing is, as you know, the warrant articles are due Friday at noon, and we could put in a draft article for this bridge project. And I would suggest asking, if we do ask for more funds, to ask for $60,000 more. with the hope that some of that would not be needed. The Concom will kick in 7,500, like I said, and there probably be some private funding, maybe 5,000, something like that. And there's always a chance, I guess, that the bids we received the second time could be a little lower. They could also be higher.
Can I ask a question, Mike?
Sure, Ken. Yes.
Actually, I'm going to start saying these as declarative because I am going to ask a question, Mike. Did you talk, because there was a real question about the entity, the company that gave the estimate also bid about 20,000 more than the estimate it gave. Did you ever get a clarification on why they estimated the cost would be so low?
I never did talk to Adam.
Okay.
The company Tahoe House Trails. Yeah, and thanks for mentioning. We did have from Adam's company. I mean, actually, part of what we paid for when we did the design, Adam's company did the design. We asked for an updated cost estimate, and Adam's cost estimate was 110,000. And then, a little more than a year later, I think roughly a year later, plus or minus a few months, we went out to bid, and Adam's company was the low bidder at 155. So, and I have not gone back to him to ask, what happened in terms of 110 versus 155.
I mean, just my thoughts on it, as, I mean, it's the Robertson family bridge, so I feel a certain amount of, responsibility towards it. I think 200,000 for a bridge in the middle of the woods is way too much. And I think early in the game, when we were first talking about a different proposal, we decided that that was just too much to ask for. I mean, the town did. I think I was on a couple of those meetings. I wasn't part of the CPC then. And so then, they came in with a revised plan that was somewhat lower than the first one.
Mhm.
I think at the beginning, there were a lot of questions about why can't we do a simpler bridge? Why can't, I think Ken Ray raised the possibility of having, Eagle Scouts, and, maybe this is above what Eagle Scouts can do, but and I think people were told that it was just too complicated. There were too many safety concerns. There were, the span was too wide. There was no place to put it. So it wasn't, and because it had to meet certain either state or Army Corps regulations, again, these conversations go back a lot, that couldn't be done. But I really would be concerned about going to town meeting and proposing what would bring the cost of a bridge to 200,000, to close to $200,000. Given the economic climate, given all the other things facing the town right now, I think that would be divisive. And I don't think, I mean, I don't think it would win. I don't even know if the selectmen would put it on the ballot. But I don't support it.
Okay. Thank you. I think most of what your history is how I recall it. We did have very initially there was a bridge in a different location where the initial estimate was like 155,000. And then we moved to the location to a location where we thought the bridge would be less expensive, and we were told it was 110,000, at the end, and it is I don't think it's impossible that a bridge could be built by scouts and volunteers. I think what we would have to do with the available funds is hire professionals to build the abutments, the concrete abutments, and then rely on volunteers to do the rest of it. But again, just so you know that I don't think that bridge would last as long or be as resilient as the design that we came up with. We came up, I think, with a very good, resilient design for the location. The bridge location is a bit. It's a very quick water, fast water location. I did ran some numbers under high flow events. The water's flowing through there at around like 8 to 10 foot per second. It's really, really like going through fast. And I think if that kind of flow overtopped any kind of wooden bridge we built, you know, it would destroy the bridge. But
Can we just have the beavers build it?
yeah, yeah.
They do a real good
that,
job
that
with this
you
stuff.
know that
Yeah.
could be a fourth alternative. Yeah, yeah.
We can unionize them and say, hey,
Yeah, yeah. We have to find someone to manage that one. I don't know who would manage that
trap them and move them
that
downstream.
workforce.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, the design that we have that we paid for and developed, I think would be resilient. And I would be fairly confident it would be there 100 years from now.
And it was an attractive bridge. And as you know from those meetings, my father called one of the bridge designs a monstrosity. And he actually he thought that the design that, you know, the Adam came up with, you know, fit the woods. He thought it fit the area. So it was a very nice design. The materials, a lot of work went into the materials. And, you know, I would strongly support, you know, $110,000 bridge. I'd strongly support, you know, adding $10,000 to it maybe. But $55,000 bridge, it's a hard. I mean, I'll shut up now and let other people talk, but I just think that's a hard ask of the town right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say one other thing, just on that. You know, there has been some other town resources put into this. We've built last summer about 90 feet of wetland boardwalk, you know, at very low cost to the town, and most volunteer labor, and we had an intern. That boardwalk, though, won't be wasted if we don't build the bridge. And that boardwalk will still take you to a very nice overlook over Warren Brook that I'm sure Kathy knows. There's a bend in the river, a nice high spot to look at the river from it. And so our trail can take us there and stop there, you know, without crossing the river. What you lose is the potential for this to be part of a, you know, a larger townwide loop trail, which is almost complete except for this area and an area near Stefan's farm. But anyway, I'll shut up now too. So, Rick.
Question that I had was, so if the low bid, how many I'm just trying to refresh my memory. How many bids did come in for?
There were three bids. The one was 155. And don't quote me exactly. I don't have them in front. Another one was approximately 185. And the other was in around 250, maybe 235, 250, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So we did get three bids. When we had a site visit for bidders, there were about four or five different representatives there, not including Adam, who submitted the lowest bid. So we did get three bids.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just more curiosity, and some of those came across, right? Because if I'm someone in town, then see some of the other bids and kind of go, okay, say we have 105 left over because it was 15K in designs and that type of stuff, and we need another 50 to just hit the minimum one, is that really going to end up cutting it, right? So they ask for 50, is it really 60 or is it really a 75 more? Yeah, then it starts to become a real tougher pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and like I said, Concom has voted, they still, Concom supports this, voted to support this.
Yeah.
And recently, not just, and previously they voted 7,500 for, from their available funds. And I'm pretty sure we come with some private donations as well. But I would, if we're going to ask for anything, I'd ask for, I suggested 60. Maybe you could ask for 50 from town meeting.
Yeah, because the bids were also a year ago, so I'm assuming with
Half a year.
tariffs and
half a
all the
year.
stuff that's going on in the economy,
Yeah,
the cost
yeah.
has probably gone up somewhat.
Yeah.
I have another question, Mike, that's just going back to the drawing board's question. When I walk the land up to the trails on the other side, to connect with Warren Street, there's a rivulet that feeds into the brook that sort of flows along the edge of the property. If you're going down Fowler Street, right where that little bridge is, there's the bridge right near my property,
Right.
where I'm always terrorizing DPW. And if you go a little bit further, there's a little bridge that covers a little brook. And even when there's a lot of water, I can get across that, like without anything. I mean, I sometimes get a little bit wet, but is it possible, what I'm getting at, is it possible to change the location of the bridge, of the crossing? Because this is a great crossing. It just and we can change the trail on this, on my side of the brook, but that would take a whole reconfiguration of everything. But you could probably do a much smaller bridge there. It wouldn't be going over, the terrain that this bridge goes over is pretty steep.
I'm not exactly sure where you mean, but it's something we could look at. Bill Taylor has suggested, possibly just we'd have to get your permission, is to basically loop the trail along the other side of the brook and to come out on Fowler and not have any bridge. But that would be on your property, not on the CR. And I didn't think I thought that would be too intrusive.
I mean, I'd be willing to discuss that. I was opposed to it before, but I'd be willing to discuss it. I've been watching the folks, use it on my parents' side of the bridge. And it's not overused. And I don't think it ever will be overused. I think it'll be, and I can't see those people from the house. It just, I think, there had to be no trespassing signs or, just something put up so that people don't think they can get through, like just by going through my driveway. But
there probably have to be a trail easement,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I mean. I figure you'd have to change the whole, because the trail easements are identified, but, that's also another possibility. But that brings it back to the drawing boards again. So, but I'd be willing to discuss that if folks want to discuss it.
Okay. Any other discussion about potential article? Okay. Hearing none, does anyone want to make a motion to submit a draft article? Okay, so no motion. Chris, are you trying to say something?
I would make a motion to submit a draft article.
Can't hear you.
I would make a motion to submit a draft article for the road.
Chris, can you put it in the chat? Can you put it in the chat? Your volume's not working.
Okay, I would make a motion, to put this on the warrant for a higher amount. I'm not sure what, Chris, you probably should specify the amount if you want to make this motion. If you can't speak, Chris, we could hear you
I can speak. Can you hear me now?
faintly. Can you tell me what the number is?
155. 155. So we can lower it on the town floor.
I think I just heard her say 155 to be the total amount. Yes, Chris?
Okay,
And then
okay, so that would be, we'd be requesting an additional, $35,000. Right, because we currently have 120, so you'd be asking for another 35,000, is that right, Chris?
I know Bay State Trail Riders would commit. That's one thing.
Something
So
with
that
Bay
would-
State Trails.
Trail riders would,
Trail riders, yeah.
I actually, to truth, Chris, I don't think they would, because this isn't a horse-friendly trail. It'll never be used by horses. It's too steep and narrow. But I think other funding could be obtained, So the motion is for next, Chris, I would make a motion to request an additional $35,000 to fund the trail bridge. Is that okay, Chris? Can you hear me?
Yeah, extra 35.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, well, I would second that motion, I think. Is there any
Okay.
discussion? Any
So
discussion?
discussion, I guess, so we'll put that in maybe as a placeholder at this point. Like the plan to put it in, we would still need others to review it, and we still have the right to pull it if others aren't favorable for it. Correct?
And we still have to have a hearing,
Yeah,
where, and we are missing two members right now.
Yep.
Or three members, actually.
great,
are
yeah.
missing right now.
Let me ask two questions. One question is, would this afford us the time to talk, to have a conversation, with Bill about changing the location of the bridge? And
Yeah,
if,
yeah.
the second part of this question is, if the bridge were on my side of the brook, would it become horse friendly? Because back in the day, my dad used to let horses go through there all the time.
Yeah. It would, well, yes, I think we'd have time to take a look at this as soon as the snow melts. And also, just nothing, I could talk to Adam too, and get an explanation from him. And the third thing is, possibly, yeah. I mean, the trail is just too steep and narrow on the, where it is currently, where the trail easement is. I don't know enough of what the trail would look like on your property to say, but yeah, the rest of the trail,
It would
from
just
Warren
skim the brook.
Street,
It would go along the brook.
from-
And then if you go straight where the brook turns, there's a little rivulet that goes into it. You go straight along the brook and that connects with the other side.
Mm.
All you have to do is cross that little rivulet. So
may
just
already, I think we
just
may already
picture the
have a-
brook where it turns, the
Yeah.
where instead of turning, you just go straight.
Yeah.
And that's really a nice place too. I mean, that's where the beaver, it's really pretty there.
Well, and we already, I think, have plans to build a little boardwalk across that road that you were talking about.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it would be really worthwhile taking, maybe if you could keep this option alive, and then, but also agree to
Okay.
look at other alternatives and go back to Adam and think things through one more time. you know, so, yeah, I agree with that. And thank you, Catherine, for even offering, you know, the possibility there, you know, on the property.
Can you hear me now? I tried to change the volume.
That was a little bit better.
And she's yelling, I think. I still can't hear her.
But I changed the volume, so maybe that.
You changed
Change the volume up,
Change the volume. Yeah. Okay. Well, is there any other discussion on the motion? So again, the motion to recap, it's basically to put a placeholder article for an additional $35,000 funding. You know, we'd have to have a hearing down the road, and we're also committing to doing some other research on, you know, alternatives. Hearing no further discussion, a roll call vote, Mike, aye. Chris, aye.
I'll go aye, seeing it's a
Catherine,
placeholder.
aye. Catherine, aye. Rick, aye.
Rick, I, yep.
And
Brittany,
Brittany.
I.
Brittany, all right, thank you. All right, well, we'll have this on the agenda for next month, and we'll try to get some more information and some for everybody. But thank you, thanks for entertaining this article. And again, Catherine, thank you for,
Thank you for all you do.
well, it's really a beautiful property. That the trail that we have right now, that's pretty much done, which leads to that oxbow in the river in Warren Brook. It's really a special place. You're about 15 feet up above the river. Watch the river flow at a bend. It's beautiful. And, you know, so
It is. It's a exquisite space.
thankful for your parents for preserving it with the CR. So,
It might be good to have a picture of this for town meeting, so people who don't know it can see what it looks like.
I will admit I missed that whole thing. Sorry, Chris.
For town hall, town meeting, it'd be good to have pictures of this spot, so they can see how nice it is.
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you. I'll go on to. I guess the other question is just are there any other potential new funded projects that anyone has at this time? Okay.
No, I don't think so. You know, I know last month I had mentioned Kiwanis dugouts and that type of stuff, but you know, what I've been kind of told is most of that's just on hold based on, you know, not necessarily having the town manager in, and we didn't necessarily have you know, a lot of push in the last couple of months, because in essence we needed Dennis's help with some of the stuff with Mike, and it just didn't happen. So, you know, maybe it's something for the fall, but I don't think it's what we had perceived probably is not going to hit for this May.
Just most people probably know, but we apparently we have a new town manager, or we'll have one soon.
I was going to ask about that because the person, an offer was made, so she accepted.
I haven't heard that. I just heard that they were
My understanding
negotiating.
is that she has, yes.
Okay.
That'd be great.
I think she's
I will
supposed to
miss
start
Dennis.
in March.
March?
Yeah,
we
I
go.
want to say like March 9th. Yeah, it's a Monday. I think March 9th. We're all very
Yep.
excited.
No one more than Dennis, probably.
Yeah.
Right, wearing his multiple hats. So
Yeah. But doing them all very well.
there's no doubt. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No doubt, but he's still passionate about the DPW side, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's passionate
good.
about everything. He was passionate about town hall and the renovations needed there. He's just, so,
Absolutely.
don't tell him I said anything good about him.
Yeah, we'll have to delete it from the.
Yeah,
recording.
delete it from the tapes.
Yeah. All right, then, any unanticipated topics? Anybody? And then, if not, schedule next meeting, first Wednesday again of March. Is that
Yep.
all right, everybody? Okay. All right, then, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn,
I'll second.
7:43.
All
1
right,
second.
all right. All in favor? Aye. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
See- yeah.